Dr. Gruber, I'm going to come to you because you have made over 20 statements this morning that you are not political. And yet I think the American people, if they're viewing this morning, they would see your testimony is political. It is contrived, it is orchestrated, and honestly not transparent. You have prepared for this testimony this morning with your counsel, is that correct?
Yes.
How many hours does it take to be transparent and honest of preparation? How many hours of preparation does it take to be honest and transparent with the American people?
I don't understand the question.
Why would you have to practice your testimony in order to give an honest, transparent answer to the questions posed to you today? Why would you have to practice? Because you have practiced, because you've said the exact same thing, glib, those words, you know, they're not heartfelt. You've practiced that, haven't you?
I have practiced, but I disagree that they're not heartfelt.
Okay. So let me ask you about your economic model, because you said it was accurate. So how many, in your economic model, how many Americans would lose their health care, could not keep their plan as the President promised under your economic model?
I don't recall the exact number.
So you can recall all these other figures, but you can't recall that one?
No, I can't.
Okay. Well, can you get that to us?
Once again,
Oh, you don't want to get that to us?
Once again, that depends on...
Can you get us the number in your economic model of those that were not going to be able to keep their health care? Simple yes or no?
I don't know.
So you don't have it in your model?
I don't know whether I can or not. You'll have to take that up with my counsel.
Mr. Chairman, I see this witness as being very reluctant to give honest answers, and it is very troubling, not just to me, but to the American people. Ms. Tavenner, I'm going to go to you because the administration didn't want you to sit beside Mr. Gruber because they were afraid that his lack of transparency would be contagious, I guess, or you would be viewed in a different model. I'm troubled because I asked you some questions at the last time you appeared before this committee. And I asked you at that particular time about a rollout, and we went back and forth, and why did you not delay it? And your response to me, it says from Ms. Tavenner, well, I didn't think it was possible the way the FFM was configured to do that, nor did I think it was necessary. Do you stand by that today?
I stand by the fact that I felt we were in good position to roll out last October.
Okay, I'm in, and I'd ask if you could put up the slide, if the staff could put up the slide, but I'm in possession of an email stream from your second in command and Mr. Todd Parks that goes back and forth. This email stream was less than 48 hours before rollout. It was on September the 29th. And in that it says, just so we're clear, Ms. Tavenner decided in January that we were going to go no matter what. It goes on even further to says that hence the really cruel, uncaring march that has occurred since January when she threatened me with demotion or forced retirement if I didn't take it on. Are you familiar with this email?
I was not copied on that email. I have since seen that email.
All right, and so your number two person, because in the email stream, if you've read all the stream, it was indicating that you weren't ready, and yet it didn't really matter.
I don't happen to agree with that.
So it does matter. So in that same email stream, we were putting together hardware. We were installing hardware less than 48 hours before a rollout so that we wouldn't have a crash on the rollout day. Did you not see that as troubling? That we were installing, with less than 48 hours to go, we were installing hardware that wouldn't be tested.
We were installing hardware to increase capacity.
Oh, right, I got the numbers, and so, but you don't see that that's troubling when you're rolling something out that you wouldn't be ready when you're going to put in a piece of hardware just less than 48 hours?
We had tested and we were increasing our capacity to handle more volume.
All
I
right.
would not see that as troubling.
And so this Ms. Snyder, is she with you today, or she was forced to retire?
She was not forced to retire. In fact, during the
Is she
time-
retired?
She is retired. Her choice.
She just wasn't forced to retire.
She was not forced to retire.
All right, let me close by this. I sent your staff the information with regards to almost 4 million people that if they do not re-enroll, will get hit with a tax bill some 10 to 12 months from now, if they do not, because their benchmark plan has changed. Are you notifying those almost 4 million people that they may get a tax bill if they do not re-enroll individually?
We are individually notifying folks about their.
Well, that's funny because I have 17 counties I represent, and not a single one of them have gotten individually notified that they're going to get a tax bill.
So they are individually notified that I did not get a chance to finish my
Oh,
sentence.
I'm sorry.
Yes. They have been individually notified that they need to come back in to return to the marketplace to update their information and make sure that A, their information is current, and B, that they're selecting the plan.
That's a general marketing thing. You already
No,
responded
it's not
to
a
that.
general
Well,
marketing.
it is,
It's
but
an
let me tell you.
individual letter and phone calls to.
But individually, you know who is going to get a tax bill. You know that today, if they do not re-enroll. So why do we not notify them that if they automatically renew, they will get a tax bill?
Well, first of all, I don't know that that's necessarily true.
Well, talk to Dr. Gruber, because it is part of the plan that your premium, the rebate you get, whether your income changes or not, is based on selecting the benchmark silver plan. If the benchmark plan changes, and I would think that you would know that, you're over this, if the benchmark changes, then indeed what the amount of money that you get back will be incorrect.
So the benchmark is just one thing that changes, right? There's lots of other things that can change, that would change your tax liability or your tax.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is someone who makes the same amount of money, stays on the same plan, got a rebate this last 11 or 12 months, they will get a tax bill unbeknownst to them by doing nothing.
I think that you're assuming, I assume you're talking about 2016, not 2015.
No, this open enrollment period right now.
That's not true.
Oh, and why is it? Because I'm all ears. I want to tell the folks.
First of all, the individuals who signed up in 2014, if they have a tax liability or tax credit, that will be in April of 2015.
I understand that.
Individuals that you're talking about now who are signing up for 2015, if they were to have a tax liability at all, it would be in April of 2016.
That's correct. But that's what I'm saying. They're going to get a tax bill if they do automatically renew by February. If they don't,
Not necessarily. It depends on
so
what's
they
going
can
on
change
with
their
the
plan
individual.
after February.
They cannot change their plan after February, but whether or not they have a tax liability is going to depend on each individual, which is why what you are trying to say is part of what we are stressing to individuals. Come back, update your information, look at a plan, shop, select, but when they did their original plan, they also understood that they are to update income, changes in family circumstance. There's lots of things that can affect it.
I understand that.
That's all I
But what I'm saying is the benchmark plan in the counties I represent will change because it's a different carrier. If they do not go in and select the new plan,
Well, first of all, if they don't select a new plan, we don't move them to a new carrier.
right, they will be automatically renewed. I appreciate the patience of the chair.
No, and I appreciate the gentleman from North Carolina. I think the gentleman made the point that every American has to, independent, because he or she is not getting this information from CMS, they have to independently ask whether or not they're getting into a tax booby trap, into a tax landmine by just automatically renewing. And I think the gentleman's point is good. I'm afraid Ms. Tavenner doesn't want to admit that some people are simply not going to know, and she said, rightfully so, well, it's their responsibility. Well, it
Mr.
was never
Chairman.
somebody's responsibility to know that they might be getting into a tax consequence before the Affordable Care Act. They now need to know that.